Morning, mate. You all right? How you doing? How are you doing, really? I'm sad today. And I'm not sad because of the result of the game yesterday. I'm sad over the passing of Ricky Hatton. No, I couldn't call him a mate. I don't have his phone number. But I know a lot of people that I do care about who do know him would be absolutely broken today with the news that we got yesterday. Me, I'm just a fan. I watched his career, watched him in stadiums and arenas. I spoke to him maybe a dozen times. So I can't tell you who's a mate, I can't tell you who's close. I'm just a fan of his. But Ricky carried Manchester, represented Manchester, fought for Manchester. And I wish you could see the outpouring that we're about to get. The love, the tributes, what he meant to people, to the city. Well, that's the thing about depression and mental health issues. They rob you of logic. They rob you of rational thinking. And if he has taken his own life, which is what it appears to be, it's probably because he thought he had nowhere else to go. And that's what it does appear to be. And it's perhaps even more sad because it seems that Ricky was aware of them. There's so many podcast clips came out in the last 24 hours or so where you've got Ricky literally talking about mental health, and you've got him talking about the suicidal thoughts that he's had. And you think sometimes that talking about it, recognizing it, understanding it, has given you the power to sort of not be over it, but like at least recognize the warning signs. And because you've been out there vocal about it, you think that you can then reach out to people and be like, listen lad, I'm fucking struggling. And he looked in good shape. You know, he was trying to make a comeback at 46. But that's the thing about depression, isn't it? She's a sneaky bitch. And she don't care for logic, and she don't care for reason. And I know Ricky had his dramas. I don't judge him for his demons, like how could I? And I think that's important for everybody. He was human. He was a husband, he was a father, he was an athlete, he was a business owner, he was a mate. I said, not my mate, but you know, he was a mate. He had mates. And that's why you got to check in on your mates. And that's why you got to follow it up, because everybody says yes to the, you're all right. But you need that extra, are you sure? Because when you do drop the are you sure, you quite often get a different answer. And it's crap that he didn't feel like he could reach out, isn't it? There's a line someone said, and again, this isn't, you know, personal to me or to Ricky, because like I said, he wasn't a mate. But it's a line that I like for situations like this, that I think we should all try and remember. I don't know who said it, but whenever I heard it, it burned in my head and it was never going away, I don't think. And that is, I would rather have your tears on my shoulder than your coughing. I always think about that one. So, good morning, mate. How are you? How are you really? There was a post, hang on. I saw a post yesterday which someone reshared that Ricky posted. Yeah. Together we'll find the words to speak about suicide. Got by a bush. I used to think about taking my suicide. I used to think about talking about my suicidal thoughts made me weak. So I stayed silent. Speaking up changed my life. 45% feel comfortable talking about suicidal thoughts. Let's change that. There's going to be a tidal wave of memories and replays of his fights and greatest moments hit the airwaves. And do you know what? Even if he wasn't a fighter, even if he wasn't a celebrity, a world champion, still someone's son. Still someone's... Oh, hang on, let me sort this out. That better? It's getting all misty. You're still someone's son, someone's mate. It sounds like for Ricky, once fighting finished, he just never found the purpose that really lit him up. For whatever reason. Never managed to find the thing that sparked him up as much as fighting did. And you see it with veterans all the time. Your career shines so bright that whatever comes next is everything has got the volume turned down. But it's not just veterans. I think veterans and athletes, because of how exciting the career can be, are maybe getting it a little bit more than the general population. But at the end of the day, we all need it. We all need a purpose. And it's finding that purpose, unlocking that purpose, identifying that purpose and following that purpose. You know, I saw comments on socials yesterday, which you're always going to. You should never read them, but you're gonna, aren't you? People going, what was he upset for? He was loaded. And you just think, it ain't about that. And I think, if anything, it reinforces the point that purpose is absolutely critical. It isn't about what's in the bank. It's about what's in between your ears. It's about your own headspace. You need that purpose. So, speak up. I know that is one of the depression signals is you ain't speaking up, but you have to say speak up, and you have to mean speak up. I guarantee if anyone's feeling some shit and they go, I can't text my mates, they'll take the piss out of me. You fucking won't. And if they will, they're not your mates. Don't need it, do we? Anyway, to Ricky, thanks for everything. He's a guy that represented this city amazingly. And rest in peace, man.